our sitting position at the piano is very critical, because what we want to maintain is one that keeps us in proper alignment. We can tell if we are in proper alignment by just putting our hands on the piano. And if we find that there is basically a straight horizontal line from our wrist to our elbow, then we are in good position. What we want to avoid is sitting too high so that we are sloped down, because then we will push, and that is something we do not want to do. Nor should we be slumped or sitting too far back or sitting too far forward. We need to find this kind of L-shaped alignment. After we have found our good sitting position, the correct seat height, the next step is to make sure that we position ourselves correctly on the bench. These are all very important things that we should always think about. And we need to be sitting straight. In order for our back and shoulders to be properly recruited, the correct kind of straight alignment is so important. We can't be slumped, because if we do this, we will mess up the angle that is so important to throw our arm and set off that wave motion that is so important. So what we need to do is sit straight, shoulders back, and the next step is so important, the elbow. Elbow is the gateway, the place where the energy from our big muscle groups gets transported to our fingertip. So it is super important that we remember that our elbows should always be a little bit apart, aside from our body. Never glued to our torso, but always a few inches to the side. In fact, you can imagine if you have a light coming out of your elbow and you sit at the piano, the light should be able to hit whatever is to the side. Or if you were to nudge somebody, that is the feeling that your elbow should have. Not overextended, of course, but certainly not glued to your side. So now we will continue with the next step. Our next point to consider is our forearm and wrist. So we need to make a straight line here. Again, we should never have a high wrist that we are sloping forward. For the most part, we will be keeping everything in alignment with the wrist forming a straight line with the bottom of your key. So not extending up, not too far down. For now, we will talk about the wrist in its sort of neutral default position. That's not to say that as we get further involved in our technique that our wrist will only stay in this position, but for now the default setting is straight in alignment.